What's up, guys? I have with me Mr. R, and Scatt's gonna come in later. He's he's not home now, but when he comes home, he's gonna hop on the call with us. I have an interesting topic that I want to talk about. A lot of people might have like a very strong opinion of Fighter Pass 2. So a lot of people feel like Fighter Pass 2 potentially has potential to kill Ultimate competitively. So I want to discuss that. I want to discuss each character and then see how we feel about them. So do you want to go in order?
Sure. I actually forgot which characters.
Min.
Oh, it was Min the first one? Okay.
Min was the first one.
You really believe Fighter Pass 2 is going to kill Ultimate? What? I haven't heard that one before.
They think it's like going to ruin the game. Like, ruin the game, like kill it competitively. So in order, you have Min, you have Steve, you have Sephiroth, Pyra, Mythra, Kazuya, and finally Sora. Those are the 6 characters in Fighter Pass 2. So Min. I feel like something we could already talk about regarding Min is she was the most hated character in Japan. I don't know if she still is, but like Japan hated this character.
I mean, to be fair, pre-patch Min was kind of toxic, I think. And back then, it wasn't really clear which characters are good against her. Like now we know, she, for example, is pretty good. I think Diddy does like decent. There's some other characters. Wolf is pretty decent too, right? Against Min.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, like back then she was also like way better. Mm-hmm. I don't think the hate's as strong as it is pre-patch.
Well, the other thing I think Japan had going for them is that they were still able to play offline during quarantine, whereas a lot of us, we didn't really get to experience playing offline Min until quite a bit. I think she got nerfed before or she got some sort of change before offline events even came back for most people.
I think she got nerfed in 2 patches. Oh, what got nerfed exactly? But I know for sure she got nerfed in 2 patches.
One of them was her directional air dodge. Her air dodge, because she had the lowest amount of end lag on her air dodge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that was like a pretty sizable nerf. Oh, there's Scatt.
Oh, there he is.
I feel like a lot of people have very strong feelings about Fighter Pass 2. Some people absolutely hate them. Some people even feel like they're gonna, like, in the long run, characters from Fighter Pass 2 are gonna kill the game. So I want to go in order and like discuss each one of them. And we kind of brought up how a lot of players in Japan hated Min in the beginning.
Yeah, well, she was gonna kill the game. She certainly is now, or she certainly is not now.
Oh,
especially after the nerf day. It's I'll say those changes those may have been some of the most significant nerfs of any character I've seen in this game, for sure.
I'm inclined to agree with you because I've seen what top players playing that character have said, but I forgot what the exact changes were, honestly. Like all of them, at least.
So we talked about the air dodge. One of them was they changed the landing lag over neutral air.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that's a big one, actually. That's a big one. They also added like 1 or 2 frames of lag to your tether recovery, right?
In a previous patch, yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was a previous
patch, right? Right.
But that one, I don't know how big that actually is, because their tether still like pulls in very fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah. They also made her charged dragon forward smash weaker, and they reduced the activity of it.
It was like 1 frame or something like that. It's not super huge, but there's no more cheese. Oh, you do air dodge, I'm still going to kill you and frame trap you.
Yeah, that was toxic. I'm glad they changed that.
I feel like because Japan complained as much as they did, that the devs were probably like, oh, we need to do something about this character.
It's so funny. I think like a lot of the patches and changes are mostly based off of Japan and like how Japanese results go in like their tournaments, because there's like no good Robs in Japan except like Zachary or like Ocean, but I guess Ocean doesn't compete that much, and like Rob never got touched, and then Pikachu never got touched. But like all the like strong Japanese characters, like Zero Suit in the beginning, for example,
they all
and like a lot of others, they all got like nerfed or buffed because they were either not doing good over there or they were doing too good over there.
Right.
Yeah.
One more thing too before we hop off of Min. The most significant nerf that we didn't mention at all, in my opinion, the shield damage nerf. That changed everything about Min's neutral game, everything about her matchups.
Oh, that was the final patch update too, right? They nerfed. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's actually
the
huge.
Significant one.
Yeah, because she could shield poke pretty decently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, shield break, shield poke. Yeah. But now pretty much every character that gets into that kind of mid-range or mid to long range where Min was super effective at, they have the option to shield now instead of just, I have to pick an option. You can take your time and you can force Min to guess more than she would have pre-patch, which is like, that's huge. Yeah.
It's honestly a little bit hard for me to gauge how much worse she's gotten because I play Sheik in the matchup, and I think that's her worst matchup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
like yeah, like she already like bodied Min pretty hard. Like Rich Brown came over here for like 2 weeks, and we played like every day, so I know the matchup too. And it seems really bad. And then I also looked at I think it was the Buzz's tier list, or not tier list, matchup chart. And he had like Sheik as worst matchup for Min.
Yeah, I know. Pinkfish also played a lot with Void, and he just I talked to him about it. He said that matchup's ass. Do you feel like Min, if she didn't get touched, do you feel like she would have destroyed the game? Do you think that more people would have started playing Min and like we just would have been overflooded with them?
Absolutely.
I think so. Oh, I don't know about overflooded, but I do think people like the Buzz or like other people like maybe Esam, they wouldn't like drop Min like entirely because the Buzz like mostly dropped her as far as I know.
It was weird to me because even before the Buzz or even like before the nerfs, I feel like the Buzz just did not click with Min, which I thought was odd.
So too.
I thought that was so odd because I just felt like that was the perfect character for him.
Yeah, it seemed like it'd be, defensive powerhouse, walling you out consistently. Yeah. I do think that Min will, like, if she wasn't touched, I think she actually would have been kind of in a similar position to, hear me out on this one. I'm not saying this character is anywhere near as good as this character, but I think she would have been in a similar position to Smash 4 Cloud in the sense that they're probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, like, gatekeeping kind of characters in the game. So not the best, but like if your character isn't X high on this tier list, you're probably going to get bodied by every Min you run across.
I feel like just to kind of add on top of what you're saying, I feel like Min would have more defined the tier list. Like you know how like right now there's still like a pretty huge toss up as to like which characters are actually like horrible in Ultimate. I feel like Min would have determined which characters were horrible because like you can't beat Min. You're
not getting top 32 basically. That's how I feel like it would have become for sure.
Yeah, I think this is another huge factor. Like just to like show how good the character was. I feel like it's one of the characters that MK Leo struggled with the most. And I feel like that says a lot about the character.
That's true. Yeah, he did switch off of the Buzz, or he did have to switch off when the Buzz had taken that set. Don't remember which tournament. I think it was main stage maybe, but I do
also lose Pyra Mythra, right? In that matchup. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, he doesn't use Byleth in that matchup.
I know Cosmos was good in the matchup against Min, but I've also played that matchup quite a bit with Pyra Mythra. You think Pyra Mythra would do better, but it only takes like one back throw into like 2-frame F smash to like die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys saw the Pink Fresh versus MK Leo set. Min Main versus MK Leo.
Yeah, Min Main took a match off of him.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I think it was pretty close too, like last game.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's like okay, he's like dropping more matches to Min's, and then not only that, the only time the Buzz has ever taken a sit off of Leo, he was Min.
With Min, right?
And again, like we've already said that the Buzz is Min. He doesn't even click that well with the character.
Yeah.
So if Min was to continue down the path that she was on, without any patches, then yeah. But now since we're post patch, I don't know about it anymore.
I'm glad they nerfed her.
I mean, being fair, yeah. Like, honestly, I've said this before. I think the last time, actually, when we did the last podcast, I'm pretty sure I said this, but I felt like Min legitimately was just a better version of Mega Man.
Yeah,
so I'm all about that character getting that because I was just like, wait, why? What reason do I really have to play Mega Man at all? She does everything I do, but better. But now, you know what? Hey, there's a reason. Don't have to just stick to one character. Don't have to stick to Min all the way through if I'm just, trying to play competitively.
Wait, do you actually play Min now? Because the last time we talked...
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, this is hypothetical. Like, okay. I'll be the first to say, like, I'm kind of removed at the moment. But as far as Min goes, if I was competitively, if I was trying to push myself as far as I can, competitively speaking, I would main Min for sure.
That'd be optimal.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know about now, given the patch, because I do think that there are certain things Mega Man does better over Min. But at that point in time, for sure, that character was bonkers.
Do you guys want to go on to the next character, or is there anything else you want to say about Min?
Like characters that are designed to like kind of run away from you, like Steve or Pac-Man or Min. So the more they get nerfed, the better.
Yeah, I feel like Min, she was so extreme though that I feel like she wasn't really running away as much as she just forced interactions at all stages of the game. So you could never really control the pace or the tempo of the game if she just wanted to, say, hey, get you from the entire stage away. That was a little ridiculous. Yeah. But I think that with the shield nerfs, she's much better balanced, but I don't expect to see too much more of her in the future.
Yeah, well, I do think there'll be more Min-Mins, but it's just not going to be as many as there potentially could have been because of the nerfs. I also want to bring up something. So if you're like randomly watching this and you're not really that, you're not that knowledgeable about Smash, but let's say you keep track of Street Fighter, Min basically is Dalsim, but her arms don't have hurt boxes. So she's hitting you with these big disjoints. Like, just keep that in mind. And like,
that sounds so broken. Like, if you explain it like that,
yeah,
that sounds so busted.
Well, because it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it still kind of is. Like, it's not like Min just is trash now. She's still good.
Yeah, full speed, non-counterable, non-reflectable projectile. That's one way to put it.
Well, they're not even considered projectiles.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
And she had like decent up close options too, like up smash or up tilt.
Yeah, it pains me when I think about Min's down tilt and it just doesn't make Min main. I'm like, why is her down tilt combo into up smash? Why is it faster than mine? Why is it cross up?
Oh, that was another nerf they gave her too. Actually, they made that combo punishable like on hit. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, down to up smash. I'm pretty sure like at lower percents, like you shouldn't go for it because it's negative on hit. You get punished.
Is that last patch? Did they change it?
No, whichever patch they nerfed her up smash, because there was a patch where they nerfed her up smash.
Oh, that was a while back. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It might be character dependent because I remember getting hit by that and like not being able to do anything about it as Sheik. But Sheik is pretty light, so maybe she gets sent a little bit further up.
Potentially, yeah. But I just know it's more percent dependent than it was. Yeah.
It's good to know.
Okay, let's go on to the next character, which is Steve.
Oh boy.
I think Steve is probably the most, like at the moment, I think Steve is the most or the second most disliked character of this fighter pass.
Yeah.
I get it. I fully support all the Steve hate. I don't know. I don't like characters that are designed to run away. So like he's really designed to mine and like, and like literally just camp. And then on top of that, he also has like very easy combos. Like, why can you jab me across the stage? That's too easy. Like, obviously I can SDI it, but like, I don't like that. It's too easy.
60% SDI not.
Yeah, it's really too easy. Like, he's really just jabbing me across the stage. And also like, he's just up tilt, up here. Like, everything's too easy for the reward he gets. And on top of that, like the way he's designed is just you just have to camp him and he has to camp you. And I think my characters do fine against Steve, so it's not like I have trouble with Steve. I haven't lost to Steve yet in tournament, so hopefully we can keep it that way. But he's definitely not fun to play against for me personally.
Something I want to add about what you said about the jabbing across the stage. Some characters can't SDI out of it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, some characters cannot SDI out of it. They just get hit and they die.
It's so lame. Like I play Sheik, so sometimes I have to do like the most elaborate combo. It's like fastball up airs, like perfectly spaced, like rising fair nair, and then I see a Steve main just jabbing me across the stage for like the same percentage, and I'm just like, this is literally not fair.
My opinion on Steve has like fluctuated, so I will go ahead and say this disclaimer. From the day he came out, I actually remember this was me overhyping him for sure, but I was like, this character is the best character in the game, or he's potentially the best character in the game. And I think it's a little bit much, but the more I watch this character develop, the more I'm just like, all right, he has some tools that are akin to, he's not as strong as these characters per se, but he has some things that make me think, all right, he has the tools to not interact in situations where almost every other character has to in some way, shape, or form. So specifically, I'm sure you guys have seen the ledge planking that he's been able to do. And I'm like, wow, this sounds very familiar to a certain other broken character that we know. That isn't to say that his strat is as strong as, say, like Brawl Meta Knights or Smash 4 Baos, but it's indicative of a character that I think that has the ability to kind of control the tempo and the pace of the game if they really wanted to, and to kind of force situations where the opponent kind of has to wait and kind of has to do things that aren't out of the norm for every other matchup. But I think in general, Steve as a character isn't like, he's meta defining, but I don't think he's game breaking. And I do think he, in the long run, will have like more losing matchups and ways to deal with it. Now there's one thing that I do want to kind of like mention in terms of like general counterplay that I don't really see many players do against Steve. When he builds a block, or he builds like a wall of blocks, like 2 or 3, and he just camps a corner, right? You can't really directly pressure him, right? And you kind of have to play the I'm going to bait out your minecart and your other resources, but you can take a position which is just standing on top of the blocks to at least force those blocks to break faster and to put yourself in a position where Steve is at least threatened by you without you actually overcommitting, which is like one little piece of counterplay that I'd like to see more in the future going forward. Because if you just stand on the block itself just has an accelerated timer on it or something like that. So it'll break faster naturally. But I do think that there's counterplay that can still be developed against the character. It's just, he's not a normal character, so it'll take time.
I definitely agree on that. The thing I feel about Steve though is that, there's definitely counterplay and there's things that people could be doing better in those situations. But then at the same time, I feel like Steve could also just have counterplay to what you're doing. Like unless
That's
you're
how I feel as well.
Yeah, unless you're a particular character. I feel like your example about the block is if they're in that situation and depending on how much space they have, they could just like build another wall of blocks to like avoid you or something like that, or just wait for you to land, and then they have good anti-airing options. But again, I think it's just, I think it's just character dependent, because there are some characters that do a really good job of fighting Steve, like Cloud and Sephiroth seem to be like a really good example of characters who can fight Steve incredibly well. But it's just something that I feel like not every character is going to have like a good answer to counteract Steve in like every situation.
I'll add on to that as well. I also think it's true that people aren't the greatest at the matchup right now, and they will get better at it. But I also think Steve has a lot of room for like potential and growth. Like I see a lot of like Twitter clips and like combos that Steve mains don't do in tournament yet, and they look pretty doable in tournament. They just haven't had, I guess, the opportunity to do it yet. I feel like Steve has a lot of room for growth still. And then also you said he could be the best character. I try to keep an open mind, like for a lot of like the top tiers in this game, because I think there's so many different variables to whether a character is doing good or not. Like, do they have like enough top level rep? Do they happen to have like the right matchups in that particular tournament run? There's just a lot of variables. Like, is the character developed enough yet? So like I would never like straight out dismiss that Steve has like no potential to be like top 5 or like the best in the game, because I'm just not sure, honestly. Like he could be, but I wouldn't put him there like right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if he were to be in the future, because I think he's a character with enough potential. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
I do. So again, the top 5 thing, or me thinking he's the best character in the game, this was like maybe like the day before he came out, and I was just like, what his reveal trailer was. So like I definitely don't think he is at the moment, but I do think that he is, if there is a character with potential to like make a change and make a shift and jump up more in the meta, I do think it is Steve. And like I would not doubt him being top 5 at one point, because I agree with what Larry was saying earlier as well. Like there are some characters that just outright don't have tools to deal with him if he just decides to put up, double blocks or something like that. I think with time, Steve's punish game is only going to get better, and Steve's setup game is only going to get better because of how diverse and versatile his blocks and his just tool set is in general.
I feel like with Steve, from what it seems like, I feel like a lot of people who are playing him, they have to be like dedicated Steve players. Like there are some really good people, or there's some players that are doing really well with him, but I feel like he just takes a lot of time to develop compared to other characters, because he just feels very unfamiliar to use compared to other Smash characters. Like he's very odd, he's so slow, and then I feel like being able to fully utilize his block movement and just like knowing like what you should be crafting or like looking for, things like that. I feel like he's like more of a later meta character. Depending on how long Ultimate lasts competitively, I definitely think we're gonna see a lot more Steve players because of how absurd he could be. Like I think he overall has the best combo game in Ultimate. Like I think his combo game is better than every single character. It's like when you actually look at what he can do off of hits. Yeah.
I can see that. Well, maybe not Kazuya, I guess, but
yeah,
that's not really fair.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can get to Kazuya. That's a fair point. I could see where you're going.
That's the only one, though. That's the only one.
Yeah.
That's not a fair comparison, because that's really the character.
Yeah.
Designed to like zero the death you.
Yeah.
It's a question of how much are you trying to interact?
Something we haven't even talked about regarding Steve is his freaking like how well like he can craft stuff. He can make diamond and like make his kill power absurd.
Yeah.
He could do gold and make his attacks faster. You make his minecart like super strong.
I wish you could see me shaking my head because I shook my head as soon as Ramen did. I'm just like,
yeah,
it's so toxic. Like it just encourages him to camp more in mine. I hate it.
Yeah, like that's like the scary thing about the character is that like you obviously don't just want to run in on him because you can just get the hell pumped out of you, but then you can't just wait because then he becomes a better character.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
You would be able to run at him if you didn't have minecart. Like minecart is really good to like keep people guessing in neutral, and also his down B move. I forgot what it's called. The
TNT?
thing.
Yeah, TNT.
No, was it down B? Not down B.
Down B is
The
TNT.
anvil. The anvil.
Oh,
the
that's
anvil,
his down air.
yeah.
That's his down air.
Oh, that's down air. Oh, that's his down air. That's his down.
Yeah.
That is his down
That's
air.
his down air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a weird looking down air.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought of like Pac-Man Hydrant. That's why I said down B, but I guess they're similar moves, but it's an A move. That move is also really good to keep people like guessing in neutral. They can't just like approach carelessly.
Yeah, you reminded me. I need to talk about this because I feel like I'm gonna forget. His freaking TNT has some of the most absurd lead trapping setups.
yeah,
I've seen that.
Absolutely insane.
That's another thing I think is super underdeveloped for Steve right now. Like they don't let trap that well as they should.
Honestly, I feel like he has his set play. Like I put it this way: before Steve came out, I thought like, okay, maybe Snake has like the best set play let's drop in the game. Steve now though, no. Which it makes me want to bring up one thing that we haven't mentioned at all with this character. I think stage choice is by far it's the most relevant thing for this matchup in particular. But just to kind of keep it to the let's drop side, I'm sure you guys have seen the TNT on the platform with the switch right behind it, and you just and I'm just like, what do you do?
Yeah, you can't be there.
I'm not a fan of characters that like have auto let's trapping. So like Snake, for example, even though I play Snake myself, I think it's kind of lame. You can just up smash and it just covers everything. Or like Sam's down B, or like me Gunners' bombs. It's just auto let's trapping. That's what I call it. And Steve has like a really good like auto let's trapping, I'd say.
He has it's not just that with Steve. He has other ways he could do it because we talked about the TNT thing. He has like the block anvil thing. Yeah. And then like
there's so many mix-ups.
Yeah. But with the block anvil thing, it's like if you get hit by that, you just die. I think that kills you at 0, right? Like
wait, does it?
Like if you get grabbed.
Oh god.
At 0?
Like what I'm talking about, like the one where he grabs you off stage.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Did Gimmer make a video of that one?
Yeah, Gimmer made a video on
like
that.
You cover everything. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Okay, yeah, that does kill you at 0. Yeah.
The only reason that I think it hasn't come up all that often is because with that setup, this is kind of the one weakness I don't know of it. It takes time. Right. Yeah. So like if you have a character that's quicker on the recovery, which most top or high tiers do typically have faster recoveries, he's probably not gonna have the chance to set it up. But like if it's there and you're in the blast zone and you're trying to get back, or he conditions you to wait or go low, then that's when it's just like, well, I don't know if this is an option. I don't know if I have an option. But yeah, for sure. That let's trap is insane.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because there's like he has like different scenario set play let's traps that he could do.
Yeah, like I don't think they've even Steve players have scratched the surface of that character's let's trap potential.
I agree. Yeah.
It's
he has a lot of potential.
Where would you guys place Steve right now? Top 10, top 15, top 5, top 20?
I think he's top 20, which I would consider top tier. Like I feel like there are like 20 top tiers, probably more.
Same.
But
same actually, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he has a lot of potential though. Like I mean, we keep talking about it, but he just has so much that he could potentially do. And have you talked to Izal about this character recently, by the way, Robin?
No, he's completely changed his mind on it.
Has he? Okay.
Trash. Can't jump over fight.
That was funny. To be fair, it was like the first day when he said that.
But now people like, I feel like
meme on him for
he gets like added whenever Steve does well or something.
I mean, I remember like when the game came out and Leffen thought like Falco was the best character in the game. I feel like content creators just kind of do that on purpose for views.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Steve, couldn't reach the battlefield platform with his jump, his full hop. I understand, but just some of the things he does is ridiculous. But I agree with you. Top 20 for right now. I think he still has, as a character in top 20, he's probably one of the characters that has the least developed meta.
Oh, absolutely.
In terms of just how vast he has. Like, that's why I think if there's any character that's going to go up in the future, it would be Steve.
Honestly, Steve could be the character that, like, kills Ultimate competitively. Like, if he gets developed enough, there's just some Steve players like, I figured it out. I figured out like what to do in every situation with Steve. Auto win off of a single hit.
Yeah, it's 0 to death. Oh, you're on a platform, I can kill you. You're on the ledge, I can kill you here. We're in neutral in the center of the stage. I figured it out.
I'm glad they nerfed the up smash cancel combos though.
Yeah, but he still has 0 to deaths without them. That's the thing.
He does.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The other thing about Steve that I'm kind of curious about, and this is just me kind of theory crafting on like, okay, what would potential counterplay to Steve look like in the future? And if you didn't want to interact with him, he still does have the weakness of not having, I think he may have the lowest full hop or short hop in the game.
I think it's the lowest short hop, yeah.
It kind of boils down to what I think a lot of people know where Ultimate is going in the future is how well can you camp Steve in terms of just like air camping him and moving around him and just, okay, if I take a stock off you can have your diamond, but can you hit me? This is just me kind of just seeing like, okay, can characters actively air camp Steve? And if they can, then, I think that may hold Steve back. But if they can't, or if Steve's figure out some kind of block setup to stop people from just actively not interacting with him, that's when I'm like, all right, this character, sky's the limit for him.
I agree with both of you. Like right now, I put him in top 20 just to play it safe. But I think he's one of the few characters in top 20 that has the most potential to go higher. So like I could see him go as high as top 5 in like a few years. It's not where I think he is right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he turned out to be like a really good character. Or at least much better than we thought.
You want to go on to another character?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've already complained my fair share about him.
Okay. Next one is Big Seth.
Oh, I think Sephiroth's fine. He's fine. I love watching Sephiroth. He's fun to watch. He's fun to fight against because he's easy to combo. Doesn't have like the greatest frame data. His range can be a bit toxic. I just think the combination of his size, his frame data, and his weight, it holds him back a lot. Because he's easy to combo and he dies early. So like for a character like Chrom, for example, like I can jab F smash him just as well as other characters his size, except he dies like earlier. So he's still really good. It's just even when he came out, I thought he was a bit overrated because I could just tell because of the things I mentioned, like his size, his frame data, and his weight. Like how good can he truly be? But I don't know. I might be proven wrong in the future. I think he's good, but a tad overrated.
I was gonna say, I feel like he's like the least toxic out of Fire Pass 2. He's the least toxic character out of Fire Pass 2.
That's saying something.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's definitely saying something because he can kill you at 0% if you break your shield. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting because kind of like what Ramen's saying, he does have like he has a lot of flaws. Like obviously he's light, he has a lot of range, or he has like a good amount of inline on his attacks. Startup is poor. I definitely feel like he can make up for his flaws with his. I think his edge guarding's stupid. I said it before. I think he has like one of the most absurd edge guarding. Like he has that ridiculous counter. He has really good 2-framing options. He just has like a way to non-committal or like edge guard with very little commitment, which I think is pretty huge in a game like Ultimate.
He also has 3 jumps. So that helps a lot too when he's edge guarding.
Yeah, when he has the wing, yeah.
And down air also 2 frames, so another thing you can edge guard people with.
But yeah, that being said, I still think he's the least toxic. He's pretty tame for Fire Pass 2.
He is. So I have quite a few opinions on Sephiroth. So I apologize if I go a little bit because I've actually been pretty much maining this character as of late. Yeah, like Mega Man's and Snake are still there, but for the most part, I've been playing more Seph than either of those characters for a good chunk of the last year. But I have to admit, and this may not be a hot take anymore, but I actually think Seph may not be, or he may be the quote-unquote worst competitive character of Fighter Fast 2. It hurts to say it because I'm like, yo, this character is the 6th character in the game. I really want to play him, but his flaws are very apparent. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine at a local, shout out to Toriu, but basically he is probably one of the strongest characters in the game if you only had to play grand finals of a tournament. So like if you just started a grand finals and you had the, I guess, mental stamina to play him, he's very, very good. But the fact that you have to be so precise with him all the time because, being Kirby weight and being that tall is probably one of the worst combinations in terms of just qualities that you could have in a character. It means that you can't afford to make mistakes ever. So yeah, If you get in the corner, which I think people are starting to realize is kind of Sniff's, I don't want to say his biggest weakness, but it is like a huge problem with the character. It's kind of hard to get out of the corner with him. So just, if he's on the ledge, you can't mess with him. Some of the best ledge pressure from the game. Some people say he plays neutral from the ledge, right? It's just once you give him that space and he's in the corner, because of how tall he is and because of how light he is, a lot of the times you can kind of just afford to take a risky guess, quote unquote. Sometimes he just outright dies or you can't make it back. And that's where it's really rough. But of course, insane neutral in terms of speed, insane range, insane edge guarding, insane basically everything except frame data. So sometimes it's a little annoying when, people can just master and shield. And then your best option is, I think, frame 12 out of shield, which is like,
It's okay. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not a great out of shield option.
Yeah, it's not great at all. But I do think that the character has the potential to beat basically any character in the game. It's just, can you consistently do it? And, consistency, I think, is the most important thing in terms of like competitive play if you're at a national or a major. And I think that's the problem. So like potential wise, yeah, he's there. But in terms of being able to go every single round and hopefully have a matchup that just doesn't expose you. So like Greninja, Diddy, I want to say Sonic, Inkling. I actually don't think Inkling's that bad, but I don't have much top level Inkling experience.
Have you played against good Sheik players? Sephiroth? I think that matchup's pretty good.
Sheik is another one. I haven't seen it, but I haven't played it myself, but I've definitely watched enough to see like, okay, this matchup just looks like it's horrid. But if you look at those matchups too, those aren't the most common characters in the game, which is why I think, okay, Seth still is a strong character because his bad matchups aren't Rob. There aren't Palutena. Most of the characters that we see now, right? So Pyra, Mythra even, I don't think he does bad against them at all. So he does good against most of the relevant characters. It's just you'll run into those matchups where it's just like, man, this character's really short. I can't hit them for my short hop. Man, that sucks. And playing neutral from there just gets rough. But I think he's just a strong character overall.
I think he's a good character too. I think it says more about Fighter Pass 2 that him being the worst character in Fighter Pass 2 says more about Fighter Pass 2 than it says about him. Like I don't think he's a bad character. I just think all the characters in Fighter Pass 2 are really good. Except maybe Kazuya. I'm like not sure how good Kazuya is just yet. But everybody else I think it's pretty good. Like, when I say pretty good, I mean really good. like top 20, top 25-ish at least.
I definitely agree on that. Like there's too many good characters in Fighter Pass 2.
Just a little bit more to add on to Seth. I'll leave it alone. I do think there are a couple of optimizations with the character, which this is just kind of me theory crafting and me playing the character and then me watching other top players. So I feel like Seth's disadvantage when he's off stage, I see a lot of Seths just die outright because they get caught without their wing or they get caught too far and they can't up beat back. And just gonna throw this out there for any Seth player that just happens to watch this. And I don't see Tweak, I don't see Ned do it, and I don't see any other Seths do it as well. And I was just like, please use neutral B off stage, not as necessarily a projectile coverage tool, but just to stall yourself. Like there are so many situations where I watch Seth in competitive play and they don't have a jump. And if they do use a jump, they're kind of like recovering in a very linear path. Just use neutral B. It's so good for just stalling and then just canceling with a jump because you can just react and then up B on stage and save yourself the trouble of getting gimped at like 40-50% half the time. You'll at least live long enough to get a win. But that's it. That's all I want to throw out.
All right, that's good to know. I mean, okay, so for Sephiroth players, if you're watching this, if you're listening, do what Scatt said. You use neutral B off stage.
Please.
That's interesting because I haven't seen Sephiroth players do that at all. So
it's so all right. I don't have competitive footage out because I'm sorry, I've been working full time, whatever, and haven't stepped away. If you need to watch my stuff, not the best, but it'll at least show you how to play disadvantage. I promise you. I will go as far as to say this. I think of all the stuffs out there, I think I play disadvantage the best with that character. I'm gonna throw it out there.
I mean, I'm inclined to believe you, honestly.
We know how good you are, dude. We know how good you are.
It's been a minute, I've been kind of ghosting out on people, but I promise you, that character has
that's relatable.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to ask you actually, Scatt.
Sure.
How do you feel about footstool out of shield with Sephiroth? I feel like that's like a very good option. It kind of answers one of the issues he has, which is like not having a fast out of shield option. Obviously, it only works against aerials, but I feel like a lot of people are going to jump in on you anyways, right?
Yeah. I think it's huge for Seth. It's very applicable in a lot of situations where you normally would just kind of have to hold that and just, pray your opponent drops the pressure. And I do think that it's going to be something that's going to Like if you're a Seph player and you're trying to get to the top level, you're going to have to learn it. And we've already kind of started to see it out. Like I've seen Ned do it a couple of times. When I watched Tweak play, he's done it a couple of times as well. So I definitely think it's something that is necessary and definitely helps out his game plan. Do I think it's like anything crazy, like it's going to push him up a whole tier or anything like that? No, but I do think it's good enough. So between that and then one other thing, which I think up B is not that bad in terms of like using a neutral promise. It sounds wacky, but
it's true. No, you mean uncharged up B, right?
Yeah, uncharged up B. Like I think that move is also a little underutilized for Seph as well. Like sometimes, your neutral action doesn't have to actually be actively hitting your opponent. Sometimes you can just use it to reposition. And Seph, when he uses up B, it's not quick per se on terms of startup, but it's good burst movement. And on top of that, you low profile. So like there are some instances where, maybe you're getting pressured by like say Greninja or something like that, where you don't want to deal with him just jumping and naring your shield over and over again. Sometimes just using up B, using the hurt box shift that it allows you to have, and using that to add worse trade, but at best reposition yourself is all that you need. And I think there will be a lot more situations like that as the meta progresses and people start to develop the character more.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that too, because it's also just good for landing.
Yeah, it's super versatile. And like if there's anything that makes me believe in that character, in terms of like, dealing with people on his shield, that's one move too, outside of footstool.
It also sets up for tech chases like on platforms when you're being on your platform.
Okay, let's go on to the next character. This is the character a lot of people think is the best in the game currently, and that is Pyra Mythra. So you guys can start. I have an interesting opinion I want to save. So you guys can.
Okay. I've probably played Pyra Mythra the most out of us three, unless Scatt plays Pyra Mythra.
No.
I think Pyra is really good. Like very good, easily top 10. I also think that her results are getting a little bit spiked right now because really good players are playing her. So like MK Leo, Spargo, and Cosmos, I think they're all capable of top 8ing with other characters as well. I mean, they have in the past. And Spargo improved a lot. Maybe Spargo hasn't, but like the last time Spargo competed offline before like this era was like before like the whole quarantine thing. And he's just leveled up in general in the meantime. Like he's won a few tournaments with other characters as well. Granted, it was Wi-Fi, but I remember like him winning like back-to-back tournaments with like his secondaries on Wi-Fi and like pretty stacked tournaments. So like I don't doubt he has the ability to just pick up like a good character and do well with them. That being said, I still think Pyra Mythra are really good. I'm just not entirely convinced yet they're like the best in the game, because a lot of people seem to be convinced, which is weird to me because so many characters in this game have potential and so many characters in this game are good. It's like to be like completely convinced of like Pyra Mythra is like the best character. That's just, I don't know. I feel like it's way too early to just be, you can think it, but to be convinced of that is like a different story. So yeah, that's just my take on it.
Yeah, so I'll just get it out of the way. I think Pyra Mythra is a top 3 character at the moment. I can't say for sure that they're a top 1, especially after kind of watching, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Kagaribi, the last one that just happened with Shuton and Attack Rain. Yeah, and not just in that, but Pyra Mythra still have, I would say, generally speaking, the best results. But like you said, I would give credit to the players for that. MK Leo, Spargo, Cosmos all rocking that character, and Shuton as well. I feel like the more I watch that character develop, the more that I see that their recoveries kind of get exposed, right? So I feel like there's a period of time where, people just kind of assume that, oh, Pyra Mythra, they have Mythra side B if you knock them so far, and then that's it. And then the meta kind of developed, and you started seeing top Pyra Mythra players start to just kind of use just switching in general to kind of change their momentum and to like avert getting gimped immediately. But I'm starting to see holes in that character's disadvantage in terms of just their recovery in particular that I didn't think were there before. So like Pyra Mythra, you can kind of smack her, or Pyra specifically, you can smack her out of her up B if she does kind of that ledge stall tactic where she just regrabs with up B before she gets the chance to grab a ledge, and it's just no active hitbox, which that's kind of scary for the character because, disadvantage is already not great. But I overall don't think she's the best in the game. I think that she's either 2 or 3 between her and Pikachu, and I actually think Joker's still the best in the game, but that's just me. I feel like that character, or more specifically Gun, is just too good to pass up. I know y'all seen the clip, Zachary versus Gact. He just kind of like 3-pieced him off stage and just gimped his recovery. Like, yo, this is ridiculous. Yeah. It was crazy. But I think as a whole, if I had to put it into just I guess the one phrase, Pyra Mythra, I feel like that character is going to cap out quick compared to, say, a character like Joker. So I do think that character is not fully developed. Of course, they're still relatively new. And I do think that if anything, Foresight's going to be the thing that pushes them over the top. But I just look at Joker's toolset as a whole, and I'm just like, man, this character's been out for a couple years, and I don't think he's anywhere near capped out. And I think that, you know, he's kind of lacking representation right now too. I don't know if MKLeo's completely dropped Joker, but we don't really see too much of a Joker outside of Zachary. But when I do see that character, I'm just like, no, this is like, there's an answer in almost every situation for Joker, and I just don't get that feeling from Pyra Mythra.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. Okay, this might be a very hot take, but I feel like out of every character in Fighter Pass 2, I think Pyra Mythra carries the least.
Really?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think she absolutely carries the least out of any character in Fighter Pass 2. I legit think that if you pick up Pyra Mythra and you're expecting to just get like absurd results just from picking them up, you're not. You actually have to be good. Like,
oh, you know, when I say this to people, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, I'm just like, she's really good, but that doesn't mean, like, she's probably top 5 in the game. But that doesn't mean you can just pick her up and play and like perform well. Because I feel like some characters are way easier to play at top level, despite being worse than Pyra Mythra.
Yeah, no.
Does that make any sense?
No, it absolutely does.
Yeah, like Rob, for example. But that doesn't take anything away from how good the character is. It's more about how easy the character is to perform well with at top level, like right away. Yeah. That's more so the point.
Yeah, because like if you look at what she actually has, okay, Pyra Mythra, people will like talk about her frame data, like, oh, her frame data is ridiculous. Like, you know, Mythra has ridiculous frame data. She's so fast, can't hit her. But if you look at how safe her moves are on shield, they're not that safe. You can shield grab her aerials if she lands on top of you. And then characters that have decent out of shield or solid out of shield options should be able to hit her with something. And then on top of the fact, their recovery does not go very far. Their recovery is very exploitable. So if you're a bad player and you're hit off stage as Pyra Mythra, you're not coming back because you're not gonna know how to recover. You're just gonna get edge guarded. But yeah. You know, I definitely agree that she's still a really good character. Do I think she's the best? No, I think it's too early to say, like what Ramen was saying. Like, it's just, she's really good. I do think Foresight is kind of underdeveloped. I kind of mentioned this.
I agree.
Mentioned this. I think that in some situations, Mythra could get away with just jump air dodging to like try to get a Foresight and then see what happens. I think the other thing about like most Pyra Mythra players is that their Mythra might be really good, but the Pyra sucks. So I think Spargo probably has the best Pyra, like out of any Pyra Mythra player, and it shows by like how heavily he capitalizes with her, and like he's able to also recover really well, like switching like back and forth.
I'm inclined to agree. I don't know how I feel about Pyra Mythra. I definitely don't think they're as easy, again, because of the disadvantage, like you mentioned. Like, if going back to just the clips we've seen, almost every single time I've seen that character side be off stage, like you have to know how to not get in that scenario. You have to know how to play around that. And you do bring up a good point that, you know, if you're not spacing well, you can absolutely just, you know, kind of up be out of shield if your character has a decent out of shield option. So you have to be aware of where you are. I feel like the character is maybe at like a mid-level, they perform, but at a top level, that's where it's just kind of like a dip. Because I feel like, yeah, they're not as easy to play, but I don't know if they're necessarily like the easiest to Fighter Pass 2, Larry. Or they're not.
I think they're easy to pick up for sure.
No, I think they're easy to pick up, but I just don't think they're gonna carry you. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, okay, like a good example is like, but Steve can combo you to death. Min could freaking. You know, she can mid combo you with her ridiculous range. Sephiroth even has like a really good strong comeback mechanic with one winged angel. We haven't talked about Kazuya, but Kazuya has this Kazuya nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what that makes me realize? Like, when I put it like this in my head, I understand and I agree with you guys. Pyra Mythra is probably the character that you have to know and learn Smash the most to actually play actively. Every other character in Final Pass 2, barring like maybe Sephiroth, you kind of have to learn their own game.
Yeah.
They play their own game, their own form of neutral. They're not playing Smash, they're playing whatever they're playing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Also, I'll take back what I said earlier. They might not be the easiest character. I'm sorry, they might not carry the least out of everybody in the Fighter Pass, because I think Sephiroth and Kazuya can be quite hard too. But I definitely think people overestimate how much they carry a certain player. Like they overestimate it by a lot. They just think you can just pick up Pyra Mythra and get top 8 at a major.
No,
it's really
absolutely not.
I feel like there's better characters to do that with than Pyra Mythra. But yeah, I just wanted to retract my statement before it has, clips and puts it on Twitter. I mean, I like having people on because for the most part, we kind of agree with a lot of stuff. But I think it's interesting to have people on that disagree with some of the stuff we say. Because, I don't know, it just kind of challenges you in your thought process on certain things. But I think all of our takes have been pretty solid so far. That's why we're agreeing with each other.
Wait, Hazmat, do you actually want to come on? I'll let you in.
I mean, what does he know? He's just the commentator, isn't he?
I think what it's gonna be is just like he's gonna say Kazuya is hard.
No, I mean Kazuya is hard. Kazuya is hard.
I definitely agree. Kazuya is hard, but
I can't even.
Kazuya is hard.
Yeah. I will say this though, the character can be hard and also can be bullshit.
Yeah,
I would know.
That's what yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Kazuya is hard, but I also feel like Kazuya can carry you. I think we could agree on that.
I think Kazuya is the worst from the fighter pass, besides like maybe Sephiroth. I think those two are bottom two. IMO.
Is there anything else we want to say about Pyra Mythra? Because we could talk about Kazuya.
Is there anything else? I don't think they're the best character either, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they would be in like a few years or something. They definitely have the potential to be.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about a lot of characters, so it's just the one thing I don't like is people being convinced that one character is the best and there's like no room for them to like change their mind. I don't like that because it's too early.
Yeah, it's just recency bias. So it's like really good players are playing Pyra Mythra. So obviously the character's meta is going to be expanded more, and obviously, the character's gonna be expanded more, and the players are just really good.
Yeah, they're gonna get better faster than another character that's just not played.
Like I'd be very surprised if some random player just starts popping off with Pyra Mythra.
Who's better, Kazuya or Terry? I actually think Terry is better.
Terry is better. I have some opinions on Terry. I think
Terry is. I don't like fighting Terry. I think Terry's underrated actually, but I don't know.
I'm not alone. Like I feel like people just stop talking about that character. I'm like, yo, this character I think is sleeper top tier, and like I don't think anyone's actually pushed him that far.
Yeah, no, I think Terry's really good. I think he's the best fighting character.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I think Kazuya can be more bullshit sometimes in some ways, but it's more so like the combos. I feel like neutral game against Kazuya and comboing him isn't that hard. Like it's pretty easy, like to just out neutral and combo him. Whereas Terry's like neutral is like not bad at all. Like he has a lot of safe stuff on shield, a lot of burst options,
good mobility,
evasiveness.
Yeah, for me, it's just the burst options that do it. I feel like he has too many burst options in any given situation for him to just like. I just like that character to be so much better.
That feels broken.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out. If Vendetta watches this for any reason, look out for that man. I'm looking out.
He's been doing really good, right?
Yeah, he's been doing really good. But he picked up Terry recently. I saw his first attend with Mr. E. It was the wife I said, so I don't put too much into it. But like he plays Terry in the way that I think is like the optimal way to play him. And like, hey, this is everything you should do. You should be disciplined here, and then you shouldn't, you should press buttons here. Go crazy with go here.
That's another thing we didn't mention about. I'm so sorry for interrupting you, but I could not resist. Go is so stupid. I hate Go. Why does he have a comeback mechanic that doesn't go away? It just stays. Why can he just spam like his like? Oh my god, I hate Go. I think it's one of the best comeback mechanics. It's lame. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I
just had that one was sitting inside for a while, so I just had to like vent.
I think Terry is super slept on as a character, and like he's another one of. We talked about long-term meta characters with Steve. This would be like my second one of just like, yo, this character is actually like mad good. No one's doing everything with the character. So spot dodge, cancel up tilt, like using power dunk and using his burst options in neutral to just cover different angles. Like there's so many things about this character I'm just like aren't explored, and I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Terry's probably my favorite character in the game to watch. Okay. And I look forward to seeing what Riddles and Vendetta can pull out in the future. Any other Terry too.
I want to add something else about Terry. I think his auto-cancel power dunk is one of the most toxic things.
Broken.
I agree. Because he can power dunk on your shield, and then he's so plus on your shield that if you try to spot dodge or roll, I guess it depends on your roll and spot dodge frame data. But for my characters, if I try to roll or spot dodge, and he like jabs right after power dunk on my shield, like he'll hit me like during the startup frames. So basically what that means is I have to shield. He just locks you to shield really well with that move. It's a good character.
Yeah, it's basically an FGC dive kick. Probably one of the best ones because it's plus.
I will say though, like I don't like fighting Terry, but I love watching Terry like in tournament. And I feel that way about a lot of characters where I don't like particularly fighting them, but I love watching them play. Like Young Link's another one. I know he's not like a DLC character, but it's like I don't like fighting Young Link, but I love watching Young Link play. Or like Kazuya, like Kazuya's not super fun to fight against because it's not fun to die at 0, but like seeing him do that to other characters hype or other players, you know, like I'll cheer for that. But yeah, if it happens to me, like I don't like it.
It's true. I'm on that boat too. Kazuya he's insane to watch. And I love watching that character too, but I'm just like, man, if I have to put this in bracket, I guess we're gonna have a nice 30-minute set.
Something I want to say about Kazuya, I'm really interested to see what happens with Kazuya, or with players using Kazuya on the Smashbox. Because I think you mentioned Vendetta. I think Vendetta is also playing him is playing Kazuya on the Smashbox, and I know Nito is putting a lot of time into Kazuya on the Smashbox. That character looks stupid on the Smashbox because of like the stuff he could do. It's
really interesting to watch Kazuya players on the Smashbox. I also saw Captain L playing Sheik on the Smashbox.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that. And he was like doing stuff with Sheik that he was really consistent at it because of the Smashbox. And he was like doing like B reverse needles from like very awkward angles. And he's just doing like very technical stuff consistently. So that definitely makes sense if more Kazuya players play on the Smashbox. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, I've definitely heard some people, I mean, I don't agree with this, but I've heard some people say that Kazuya is the best character in the game on the Smashbox. Because you could just like command dash Electric Wind Godfist like on reaction, like to anything.
I can't speak on this because I haven't seen Kazuya on the Smashbox. So I'm gonna hold my tongue. But
that's true. I could see him being like significantly better, but like best in the game is quite the statement. I would have to. I agree with Scatt. Like I would have to see it happen first.
Yeah, like my first impression, anytime anyone mentions Kazuya, I'm like, this is great and all, but how's he gonna catch, I'll say Sonic? How's he gonna catch Pyra, Mythra, or any other character that's just like, you know what? I'm gonna sit on the side of the stage and then I'm going to watch you, try to catch me, and then I'm just gonna jump over you. Because 7-frame jump squat and then reset from there. That's the only reason I think Kazuya is like, I lean towards him being the worst in the second Fighters Pass because I don't know if he has an answer to that.
Yeah, that's a good point because I think this game has a lot of viable zoners, and I think Kazuya is like just the way he's designed his neutral game. He's like very slow, has a bad jump squat. I just think he tends to struggle with like some of the better zoners. But then the counter argument for that is, well, he only needs to hit you once. Which is true, but like against like a top level player, like hitting them once, like capitalizing fully on that one hit is not the easiest thing in the world either. So I don't know. I think the matchup leans more towards like people dominating neutral against Kazuya.
When it comes to the argument of okay, if he touches you once, you die, right? Kazuya, like we said before, has probably the strongest punish game. That wouldn't be too far of a statement to say, but like there are other characters that I think have strong enough punish games to almost, I'm just gonna say it, Luigi, for example, right? Very similar characteristics, very, very much so similar punish game in the fact that he can touch you one time and he can kill you off of it. But at the same time, Luigi has to get that hit and it's not easy. And Luigi has, Fireball, he has Plunger as kind of an approach tool or kind of as like a neutral control tool.
I was gonna say something. Luigi actually has so many ways to set up into a combo. It's not just grab.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just grab. But even then, even with a character like Luigi, who, arguably has a more versatile set or more versatile way to catch you in those combos, he's not someone that you would consider like a top 1 or top 5 character in the game. That's not to knock, Luigi or any of the other top Luigi players that are doing well. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Yo, what's going on?
Yo, Has.
Good, Has.
Hey, fellas. I disappear for 3 minutes and you start talking about Luigi. What the heck? I'm out of here. This really is discount tweet talk. What the heck? I'm done with this shit. Nobody.
Scatt was talking about Luigi to like compare him to Kazuya.
I had
Actually,
to.
Pyra Mythra carry is, by the way. What are you kidding me? Are you serious? What do you need to learn with that character? What is there to learn? There's nothing complex.
Nah, that's not true. Okay, tell me what other Pyra Mythras have been doing good that haven't been doing good before with a different
ask
character.
any local player at any scene. Ask any local player at any scene.
I'm talking about the top level, not local level.
That counts though.
No, it doesn't.
Top level is different. Careful what you wish for, bro. Look at Smash World Tour. Top 3, all ages. All of them played ages.
Okay, but who was it? Who is it? Who are the players? It was Kazuya, Fargo, and Leo. Yeah, but
those are really good players.
I'm not saying they're not really good. I'm just saying that character is a consistent factor right there. Yeah, can't deny that.
Well, I'm talking specifically about top level, right? Not in your local region, right? Your PR, your local. I don't care who gets like 19th on your PR, right? With Pyra Mythra, it's 19? Completely irrelevant.
I don't think we got 19 people going to locals right now. I think I see what you're saying though. It's more about like Steve's. Like if you were to gamble on if there are 2 players who are equal skill, mid PR level from whatever region, right? And one of them is set up to cause an upset at a region, who's more likely to do it? Is it a Pyra Mythra or Steve, right? Like that's kind of your question. Yeah. Which fair enough. But I also think a part of that is how common Pyra and Mythra are. Steve is not that common yet. Like he's kind of middle of the ground. Pyra Mythra is a very common character. Like, and everyone's prepping to beat them. The top players are prepping to beat them. Because you have to beat them.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I feel like more people play Steve than Pyra Mythra.
I was going to say that. I feel like Steve is more common.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on where you're looking. I mean, like in that top, like when a top player, you guys know this. I mean, you are top players. When you look at a bracket and you go to prepare for it, who are you practicing against more, Steve's or Pyra Mythras? Pyra Mythras, baby. That's right. It is. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Well, I think it's harder to know the Steve matchup than it is to know the Pyra Mythra matchup.
I agree.
But it also depends on the character you play, I guess.
But I think too, that's another reason why I would say like I don't ever, not that I never want to say people are carried, but that's why I think Pyra Mythra are so strong, is that it's so hard to find counterplay to them because they are such traditional Smash characters, right? Like they're just kind of swordies that are fast or slow and hit hard or whatever. But in order to play against them, you just have to play really well, and their matchup spread is insane. Like it is so good. Steve has a lot of very common counter picks to him. Like Cloud and Sephiroth both do really, especially Cloud does really well against him. And like if you're a top player and your back's against the wall against a Steve, and you have a decent Cloud, it's probably not a terrible pick, to be honest with you.
I definitely agree with you with everything you just said. It's just, I think describing it as carrying can be like interpreted in a lot of different ways. Like Pyra Mythra definitely carries in the sense that they're much better character than the character you probably played before that. So they'll carry you just by being a better character. But I don't necessarily think they're like easy to play. I don't know how to describe this.
Wait,
I just think there's...
I think at a top level, they're less likely to cause an upset than a Steve player. That's like the thing. Even in terms of preparation, I feel like it's much easier to prepare against Pyra Mythra because they're so straightforward. You already know what to expect. Whereas with Steve, there are a lot more variables you have to worry about.
True.
Yeah, there's just so much more you have to worry about regarding Steve.
He is more complex for sure. Just a base fundamental level as a character, right? Like there's just so much you have. Even on commentary, dude, like when I try to study for majors and stuff, like obviously really got to know Pyra and Mythra. But like if I don't know anything, Steve's tough too because like I'm a boomer and like I didn't play Minecraft, so none of the knowledge is just like apparent for me. I can't just look at it and know. Like I can with Terry because I grew up playing fighting games and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, I know all Terry's moves just from existing with him. But with Steve, it's like, man, what the hell is this character doing all the time? So there is that factor too, is like the complexity of a character certainly does add to that as well. And we have seen Steve has been so weird too with his results, like pop off one tournament and then do poorly at the next one in terms of his top reps. Like it's just been kind of that, I guess that Ramen, to your point, like that adds more to like the kind of, I don't want to say carried, but more to like the X factor of the character or whatever we want to call it. Like the consistency in the result.
I think it's just it's a matter of in terms of simplicity. I think it's just the peak for Pyra Mythra is easier to see and easier to reach. But then the potential for Steve may be up there with him and maybe past him. Like there's so much more I feel like that Steve can develop with than Pyra Mythra can at the moment.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I don't know if you guys have, I mean, I assume you listen to Tweak Talks because everyone does, because you know it's great.
Yeah.
I said the same thing about Steve right when he came out. I'm like, dude, the number one thing is he has a huge community around him of people who want to get better with him, and he's very complex, which means he's harder to balance too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he just becomes harder to balance because you're not sure if he has these things or not. And they caught a few things and nerfed them out or patched them out, however you want to call it. For infinites and all that other stuff, but dude, he still has so much tech, and like I think a passionate big fan base is more important to a character than almost anything else.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah, I love it when like character reps like help each other, because there's also like there's people that I know kind of get bitter and jealous whenever somebody else playing their character does better than they do. But I actually love it when it's like everybody supporting each other and everybody wants each other to do well, because I feel like that helps you in return as well. Like it helps you get better faster. So like any way you look at it, like it's better for everybody involved, including you. So I don't know. I just met a lot of people that I know for a fact don't like it when somebody else does good with their character. You know what I mean?
Oh man, this makes me want to bring up the elephant character in the room. I'm sure we'll get to it.
Just say it.
Sora, man.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the character everyone's supposed to play, but then I'll save it.
He's boring and cringe. He's boring and cringe. He's terrible. No one even wants to sell out for him. That's how bad it is. No one's like, he's so good and broken.
No,
he's overrated, isn't he?
Dude, there's so many swords in Japan.
Yeah.
Kamei had me hyped for him.
I was just saying Kamei, yeah.
I don't know. Sora's weird because I think Sora's similar to Steve in the sense that I feel like he has a lot of room to grow. Like he has a lot of potential. I just think initially everybody thought he was better than he is because Zachary won a single tournament with him.
I don't know. Seeing Sora, watching Kamei play Sora, I'm like, this character looks kind of absurd because he just spammed Nair. He just did Nair 1-2 over and over again.
Insane, yeah.
That's all he was doing.
Yeah.
Dude, I think on top of that, like how safe the Nair is and the fact that he has a good counter too, it's just wild. It kind of reminds me of not only did DLC characters all get counters, but they got more ridiculous as you went on. And I think it kind of peaked with Sephiroth. Like his counter is just, dude, it could just blow characters up at 40 if you throw the wrong move out. And like in a game where mashing is so strong and so prevalent, like having a good counter is just so good because people, they don't think, they shut their brains off or they get nervous and they start mashing and then you just counter the hell out of them. And it's like, it's suddenly, I feel like it was a meme, like in Melee, like people would spam Marth counter like as like a casual, that's what you do, and then you just get destroyed for it. In Ultimate, it kind of works, you know, not that you can mash it and spam it the whole time, but you get away with it more, that's for sure.
Yeah, its counter is also really hard to punish. Doesn't have that much end life actually. Like you have to be precise to like punish his counter. It's not free. Whereas like when any other character counters in it with, it's just a free punish. But against Sora, it's not like that.
Oh, his counter also like it could beat out moves that other counters can't because of the animation it puts the character.
Yeah. Like Chroma B. Like when I recover with Chroma B and I sweet spot, I go really low. There's some characters that when they counter, their counter will just whiff. Like you said, he has like that animation thing going on where it just stop in place. Like it'll almost always hit besides like one specific angle from the side, but like it'll usually, it's like much more consistent than like a Marth or Cena counter. So it's really good at hitting people.
Oh, question. Has anyone seen the Dusty Carpet video on Sora's like combo game?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
He's great. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's really good.
It was fantastic.
Like some of the stuff that Sora can do is absurd.
Yeah, don't take him to triplets. That's my only warning.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, I think he has a lot of room for potential. Like I feel like he's only gonna get better. But like right now, I wouldn't know where to place him right now because I think a lot of the other characters in Fighter Pass 2 are better. But I think he has potential to be way better mostly because of his punish game.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about him as a character. Part of me is starting to think that maybe he's more polarizing than I thought. Like, you know, his moveset was pushed as versatile, but then I just think about, again, his punish game. And I just think about that set that I think Kamei just played against Hero, I believe, the Bowser from Japan. And I was just like, wow, if you're a fast faller and you're a big character and you get caught, you're probably going to explode. But then when I compare him to, say, a more meta relevant character or a faster character like, say, Pyra Mythra or Joker, for example, I'm just like, what do you do to catch him? Because he's so slow. Like his dash speed is just oh gosh.
I know. That's the number one like consistent thing across like all Smash games that makes someone a top tier typically is mobility. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with him, it's just like he has almost everything else. Like his neutral B is really, really good too. Good counter, like good good punish game. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on, you. Come on. I know. Come on, tough guy. But yeah, sorry. Really is discount tweak talks, you know? There's special guest. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah. So mobility, right? Like that's such a big thing. Like his recovery is incredible. He's good edge guarding. His Nair, obviously, really good combo starter and does a ton of damage if you land it, and it's safe, which is really good. But if people just camp the hell, that's always like the X factor. Is like, what if someone just? People usually think like this character has incredible speed, so I can rush people down with them, right? It's like, man, but what if you use that power for evil instead, and you use it to run away the whole, like Mythra, you know, like what if you just run away the whole game instead?
Oh, yeah.
It's an option. So it'll be interesting. Yep.
Well, the thing is that I feel like in a lot of situations you can't just run away. It's like really hard to just run away in Ultimate. You only have so much stage. Like you run away long enough, you're gonna be in a corner. And I think a lot of characters are really good at fighting someone that's cornered. Typically, the option to get out of the corner is a full hop, but everyone has a 3-frame jump squat, so they can meet you in the air and challenge you.
Yeah, it's definitely harder than previous games because you can't just run through people anymore. And then spot dodges and air dodges have like more lag now the more you use it. So you can't just roll through people like for free all the time either. And I think generally characters are just better at pressuring people. They just have better moves. I think in Ultimate a lot of the characters had to just have better moves than in other games. Like a lot of moves have less landing lag, for example, and you can just pressure people easier through that as well.
And it's one of the reasons why I'm not quite sold on just just camp Sora out and he's gone, because he does have decent anti-air tools. You know, his upper is insane in my opinion, probably one of the best uppers in the game.
His upper is so good. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I think it's like -5 for that much space and that much area control. And I do think that he does have enough space control between his projectiles and his side B to actually like make something happen. It's just, again, it comes down to that factor of can you consistently get it? And I think it's a little bit too early for me to say personally, but after watching Kameme, Zachary's also run from a couple months ago, I think there is potential there, but I don't know if I put him, above the other characters in Fighters Fast 2 just yet.
I think we're all kind of saying it where I think you need a certain playstyle and mentality to play as that character too, because you aren't going to just be able to dash and catch people. It's more about controlling stage and really punishing people when you get the opportunity to, and just, I don't know, like the way you have to play him is pretty unique, honestly, like floaty, swordy kind of type character he also has good projectiles and like that. So he's really interesting. He is versatile in that way, but he's also weirdly polarizing too, I feel like, just because they gave him so many tools.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This might be like a Crom thing, but I feel like he's kind of easy to true frame as well. Like despite him having like a really good recovery with a lot of mix-ups, like I can just react to a lot of stuff. But again, that might be a Crom thing because Crom's true framing is really good.
I agree.
Sounds like
his recovery is like pretty slow, so I feel like the way he recovers just makes it super easy to two frame. I think his only hope is to mix up how he's gonna grab the edge with his side B.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas the character like Sephiroth, like he charges up B, like okay, I just have to take that. Like I can't do anything about that. But against like Sora, I feel like if he doesn't have like the most amazing recovery, like I could just like two frame him if I'm on point.
Yeah, pretty rough for him on the ledge. I've seen a couple Soras develop some counterplay, but again, it's not anything that I would think is enough to get people to just respect you on the ledge. Like, yeah, you can side B. I've even seen a couple of Soras just, they'll intentionally side B one time horizontally, side B again horizontally, and then side B upwards just to delay the recovery. They'll aim for the ledge. And it's okay as a mix-up, but like you're not threatening the opponent from the ledge. You're not forcing them to back up or to just move or to take an action other than sit there and hold shield. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah. But then I also think like I don't know, I just think his punish game has so much potential that he could be like super good in the future. I mean, he's really good right now, but a little bit more hesitant with Sora than like the other characters, because also he just came out he's the most recent character that came out. I just need a little bit more time and a little bit more footage before I make up my mind on how good he is exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the most underdeveloped. Dude, every time I think of Sora, like, it's just Nair 1-2. That just messes me up, dude. Yeah, especially because he has the added mix-up that he can bounce off of you or not. I think that's, like, one of the most messed up things about his Nair.
Ooh, what move does that remind you of?
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, hold on a second.
Wait, Larry, you definitely remember that. I'm sorry.
No, Larry.
Okay.
I doubt most people have used that clip.
Funny story about that clip. I'll just tell you. I don't know if all of you know this, but I'm not gonna say who it was. But they told me to SDI Bayonetta's fair wrong.
I know who it was.
And it wasn't until I talked to Bam that I figured out I was SDIing it wrong this whole time, because the person I played with told me to SDI Bayo fair wrong.
And that's why I still remember the 0. Was it like 0 or 4% on Battlefield or something like that? And it's just, what did they tell you? DI up and in?
They told me to SDI away from Bayo fair.
Yeah, and that's how you get combo better.
Yes.
Oh,
Right
no.
into the blast zone, dude. That's perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. Awesome. Oh, Shucks in the chat.
Wait, what? I mean, I just assumed because the person played a Bayo that they would tell me, you know?
Yeah, tell you how to lose.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, Hazmat, come back in. I wanted to ask you something about Kazuya.
He really just dipped like that.
As soon as he saw Charles, he left.
We didn't really talk about Kazuya that much. You're right.
Yeah. Oh, wait, okay. So, Hazmat, how do you feel about Kazuya with Smashbox? Because I've heard so many people have such a high opinion of Smashbox Kazuya.
I think it's broken, to be honest with you. The thing with Kazuya that I think is always an X factor is his 7-frame jump squat, dude. It feels awful after playing Ultimate for a few years. But I think with the Smashbox, you can master so many other ways to move with him. Like his crouch dashing and like that, and get more consistent inputs. I mean, that's the way the character was designed to play, basically, right? He was designed to be a techie character, which originally was in arcades, which is more like, you know, a Smashbox. And personally, I mean, you guys, I play Ken, I play Ryu, I play Terry. They all make a ton of sense to me, but the 3D fighters as a kid was never something I got into, so he just feels very foreign and very weird. If I was to truly commit to playing him, I think I would do the full Smashbox thing, because, dude, it's hard. I'm having a hard time on the GameCube controller. Maybe it's just something I need to practice more, but man, it's really hard, in my opinion, to do a lot of his shit consistently. Like, I'm very impressed by the Kazuya players who do well with him, because the pressure of doing well in a tournament, you guys all know this, it makes it so much harder to do even basic inputs. Yeah, exactly, Scatt. Anything is hard. Falling through platforms, just suddenly, you know, your fingers feel heavy, all that shit, and then you got to hit all these. It's not a frame perfect, but it's a frame 2 window for electrics, like, consistently. And that's like, when I tweeted, I was like, how the hell do you play this character neutral? Everyone's like, just electric. I'm like, dude, that's a frame 2 window that you want me to do all the time on command and in reaction. Like, it's hard, dude. It's hard, but it's hard, dude. It is not easy for sure. So I think Smashbox, I do think it'll be big for him. But again, it'll be an investment someone has to make for like 8 years, or for 8 months. Jesus, 8 years.
That's like 8 years.
Oh, yeah. I'm like,
pull out the Master Sword, dude. Then you can use it. Yeah. But it's you'll have to play on it for months, because you have to relearn how to play the game on it first. Then you have to learn how to play Kazuya. But maybe you just do both at the same time. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone do it yet, but I'm very interested. I'd love to see Riddles, and Vendetta's already been brought up once. I'm obviously a huge fan of both those guys. I think they could do great with them. But yeah, we'll see, dude. I don't know. My New Year's resolution was try to pick up Kazuya, and I'm already having a tough time here mid-January. So it's hard, dude. It's really very different than all the other fighting game characters, for sure. He's very, very unique, and I have faith in him as a character in the meta, but I just don't really know where he falls at some point. He's just so volatile. Like, if you leave open FD against someone that has a Kazuya, and you can't just platform camp him and run away and eat up airs, and you have to eventually face him at grab distance, it's like, this is suddenly very, very scary. It's like grab or electric. Like, which one do you want to eat? Like, it sucks either way.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Charles, why are you saying hi to me? What the heck?
I need to check that. I don't have chat open.
Charles, no! That's my go, Charles. All right, I got to dip though. He's in the chat.
Why? Why can he not be here when Charles is in the chat? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
Sora's supposed to be top tier. Or Charles said Sora's top tier, right? Somewhere around there. Good character.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I agree. As far as Kazuya goes, though, man, I'm still on the fence. I think, like, I need to see him fight a fast character, or like a meta relevant character that can run.
Because, okay, so Hazmat brought up Vendetta and Riddles. Nito has been investing in the Smashbox, so I'm really interested to see what he does with the character, because he seems very serious about using Kazuya on the Smashbox. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because like I played other fighting games and I don't even know how they're like doing all these inputs on an analog. Like, that's hard. Like on the control stick, it's really hard. like doing it on like a D-pad or like a Smash box or like an arcade stick, way easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually don't know how Riddle's like that consistent at some of the stuff he does, because it seems really hard to me.
Yeah, no, doing that many electrics in a row and under pressure.
Oh,
Nah.
I also want to bring this up. So, I'm sure you guys know who Cloud 805 is.
Yes.
Well, we do. I don't know if like the other Smash, like a lot of people in chat do, but yeah, Cloud 805 is a well-known fighting game player. He also played Ultimate. I went to his place once and I was playing his Terry on Smashbox. This is like 2 years ago now. It's like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, he was playing Terry on the Smashbox, and he was doing all this ridiculous stuff. Like he was able to always have like EX rising tackle charge, and like he was able to do like these weird setups and stuff like that. So
Smashbox is the future, and that's what I'm hearing.
at least for like fighting game characters, it feels like. I mean, I'm sure there's like some downsides to using it, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
No, that's sick. I didn't even know Cloud 805 played it. Like, I'm used to just watching Marvel and DB Fighters, and like, yo, this is sick. I get to see someone play some of my favorite characters. Oh boy.
Yeah, he actually was. He was an Inkling main in the beginning of Ultimate.
Oh wow.
What?
Surprising, honestly.
Right. I'm like, I would expect it something close enough to FGC, but
I just want the Nooch. He was just playing Nooch with Inkling.
playing
Nooch.
back here the character. Oh, that character fell off so hard. But
I still think Inkling's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I still think Inkling's good too.
I do too. It's just no one wants to. I don't know. I guess no one wants to sit there and back here and use neutral.
Yeah.
Game. That's pretty much it.
Oh my god, I play against Space like sometimes, and you guys know Space, right?
Yeah.
It's like so annoying. When you get jabbed, it's like 20%, and you're inked up, and then you just backer. Neutral is just backer. It's like you know it's coming, but you still can't deal with it.
Yeah, the character's so good, and then they buffed him. I mean, the buffs were
yeah, they
crazy.
buffed her neutral.
Why? Like it made no sense. I mean, I guess it makes sense in terms of Japan because there aren't any.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Japan, right?
There's like no good Inklings in Japan right now, so I feel like all the patches are just based off of Japanese results.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
most
Makes
part.
sense. Now I think about it, I'm like, oh wait, Mega Man didn't get touched till literally the last patch.
That reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember, in Smash 4, it was Abadongo versus Naro. There was like a Japanese tournament, and it was grand
What are you
finals.
talking about?
And they were both like laddering each other.
That's right.
Yeah, they were like both laddering each other with Zero Suit up airs and Midnight up airs. And then literally like a week or two after, like a month after, both those characters got nerfed.
Yeah. That's
I
what,
remember.
that's really meme, because there was like a meme that like at that Japanese tournament you never try, like you never try to win because your character
They're gonna nerf your character.
Yeah, your prize is your character's getting nerfed.
That's why MK Leo, like the first time he went to Japan after he just picked up Joker, he placed 25th. I don't know if you guys remember that. But that was on purpose. He had it all planned out. I bet if he won that tournament, Joker would have gotten nerfed harder. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, what would the Joker nerf be? That would be the real question.
And Joker did get nerfed, right? Arsene, and then
Right.
guns. I mean,
He got
not too significant
he got
though.
very light.
Minor.
They also nerfed his counter. They made his counter like laggier on whiff.
That's not much.
That was a problem.
Yeah, that was the problem. People were just spamming
That
counter on
was-
Smash.
Oh boy.
Did we go through all the characters?
Yeah, we went through everyone. Yeah, because Sora was the last one, then we like touched on Kazuya again.
I'm not sure what else to say. I wanted to kind of, I guess, give some like closing remarks on Kazuya since we kind of hopped off of him, but I feel like the character still, he has the ability to kill you, of course. And I give up the fact that like even on stages where he doesn't have, or even on stages where there are platforms, he can still apply tons of pressure, right? Like command grab to the platforms.
Oh yeah.
One thing I didn't mention that has briefly mentioned, his up air is insane for his kind of like character archetype. And I think that may be one way that his meta could kind of move to maybe alleviate people that are jump heavy. But I kind of want to see more up air usage too, because that move just seems bonkers. I don't know how much it does, but the hitbox on it is like accurate to the movement. So like his whole foot that's arcing actually covers that space. And it looks like, man, you don't have any other anti-air tool. This is your anti-air tool. This is what you do with your 7-frame jump squat to at least try to stop people. But that's all I'm going to add on Kazuya. I think he may still be the worst character overall, but...
From Fighter Pass 2. I'm just making sure you clarify. Yeah.
Thank you.
Before somebody clips you, you know.
Oh, boy. Kazuya's the worst character in the game. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, something to add about that, too, is that, like, his up air has invulnerability on it. Like, his leg's invulnerable.
Yeah.
His command grab, I think, is really good as well.
Has armor.
I honestly haven't seen a lot of, like, top level Kazuyas. Like I've seen Tareks, I've seen Riddles, I've seen Vendetta a little bit, but like that's it. I want to say for the most part. I think he's a sick character to watch though. Like I would love to see more Kazuyas in tournament. Like keep them out of my bracket, but I would love to see them
I was about to say,
at big tournaments.
no one wants to actually play Kazuya. They want to watch him.
Yeah, I want to watch like the crazy combos. It's fun. It's hype.
So of the Fighters Fast 2 characters, which ones would you guys want to fight in bracket actively?
Min Min. I actually don't mind Min Min because
Really?
I
She plays Sheik,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For me, it would be Pyra Mythra, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Wolf does that bad versus Pyra Mythra.
I agree. That matchup's hard for not hard, but like it's not as free as other matchups for Pyra Mythra.
And then plus, because of Mythra's aerials, you can switch out shield a beer at higher percents.
Oh, she just dies.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that does. For me, I'm just gonna say Seph, just because I feel like I understand Seph so much now, and my characters don't really do that bad. But yeah, I'm just like, what character would any of these characters kill the game in the sense that, like, all right, if you fought them, is there any other character that you would rather fight over them in the Fighters Fast?
Wait.
I think in order for me, it would be Min Min, Sephiroth, Sora, Kazuya, Pyra Mythra. Am I forgetting somebody? And Steve. I think Steve's like last. I don't like fighting Steve. Very annoying.
Wait, you put Pyra Mythra second to last?
Yeah, because I think Pyra Mythra beats both my characters. It's kind of annoying to fight against.
That's fair.
Yeah.
For Prom, it's really hard because he just gets like outframed it out hard. And then if you don't have a jump and you're off stage and you're forced to recover low, it's like a guaranteed game each time because she can just hold shield your AB, and then spot dodge and trigger foresight. And it's really easy. And I can sweet spot my AB to like not trigger her foresight, but it's hard.
Yeah, I think for me it would probably be Pyra Mythra, Sephiroth, Sora, Min, Steve, and Kazuya.
Oh,
Kazuya last.
Right.
Yeah. It's honestly not because I think Kazuya is like super good. It's just one of those characters that I feel like as soon as I get hit, like it's just gonna be stressful.
No, you're not trying to play 8-minute match. I see.
Yeah, I just want to have the less stressful matchup. I don't care if like the character's supposed to be easy. Like I guess another example is like give me like a bunch of Palabus over freaking Little Mac. I don't want to play a bunch of Little Macs.
Actually, I can feel that. Yeah. I'd much rather play Palu.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just stressful, very stressful because you can just die basically from anything.
Yeah.
What about you, Scatt?
Yeah, for me, I think it's Seph, of course, would be the one I want to fight the most. And then I would actually go with, as weird as it is to say, probably Min, and then probably Steve, and then Pyra Mythra, and then Kazuya. I forgot Sora.
I was like, where's
Wait,
Sora?
I forgot about Sora. I would definitely want to fight Sora before Pyra Mythra. And actually, even Steve, yeah. I will say the reason why Steve is a little bit higher than normal is because I feel like when I play Steve, it almost reminds me of Brawl. I know it's weird, but it almost reminds me of Brawl in the sense that you have to know specific counterplay and you kind of have to play really, really slow paced neutral and you kind of have to just take your time with what you're doing. So I'm just like, it's nostalgia for me that's kicking in there. Yeah, it's not like, I like figuring out ways to get around what seems like a non-interactive setup as best I can. But I much prefer that over just not like dying in one hit because I'm like, I'd rather get to the point where I can interact over just, I'm interacting and I guess wrong one time, I guess I'll just die.
I thought you were gonna put Steve higher because Sephiroth just does well versus Steve.
I mean, yeah, there's that too. I think honestly with Snake as well, that's probably the other character I would go. He does fine versus Steve because blocks are kind of, they get destroyed by one grenade. You can destroy multiple, so it's not like that big of a deal, and you can't really camp you out that hard. But yeah, I just like the thinking about the counterplay to Steve over just fighting someone like Kazuya where it's just like, I'm close to him. Well, there's only one or two things going to happen. Either I'm going to actively move away or I'm going to get hit and explode. So
why Min so high though?
Min, part of me, all right, being real, biased, part of me is just happy that the character got nerfed. So I have a reason to play Mega Man. And I can I can feel like instead of just feel like I'm literally playing against a better version of my character, it feels like I'm playing against the character. So I'll just say that's just bias. That's it.
Okay.
And then once you hit Min, she dies. That's so satisfying to me. She's gone. One little touch, one little breath off stage, and then she's done.
Yeah.
It feels good to be able to say the stock is gone.
She's like really good combo weights for a lot of characters. And you can also edge guard her.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
I really have to pee. To be honest.
Yeah.
I've been having to go for like an hour. I'm just like holding it in.
Oh damn.
But maybe we can take some questions from chat.
We could take like a couple of questions. Also, Ramen, you're a homie for holding your piston for that long.
No worries.
Is Roy better
There you go,
than
there you
Tom
go.
in this meta?
Man, if I got $1 for every time I got that question, or the question, why do you play Quam over Roy? If I got $1 for each time I heard that question, I'd be so rich I wouldn't even have to play Smash right now. It's crazy. Like that's all people care about when they see me. Like when people come to my stream, they're just like, oh, why do you play Quam over Roy? And I get it. Like Roy gets a lot of screen time, especially at like the biggest tournaments that get the most exposure. For me personally, I just like playing Quam more. He's like more fluent. I like his combos more. He's just, I don't know, cooler. And in terms of viability, I actually think they're not that far off. My opinion on this hasn't changed in a while. I think the main reason a lot of people put Roy so high is because of Cola and Goblin doing really good at tournaments at US majors. But I think if more Quam players were able to travel to like the bigger tournaments, Quam would definitely get more spotlight. Like if Rivers, TK3, Lancelot, me, all were able to attend as many majors as like Cola or Goblin, and even if we don't do as good as them, Quam would at least get a lot more spotlight, and people would at least think the gap's a lot smaller than it is. Because right now I see tier lists where, like, I literally saw a tier list the other day from a top level player. I forgot who it was. I forgot Lavish. Sorry. There's like a few other Quam players that are really good too, like Sword. But anyway, I saw a tier list the other day from a top player who put Quam in like mid tier, and I was just like, that's insane. Like, how did we get here to the point where people think Quam is mid tier? Like, it was, I forgot from who it was, but it was like from a top, like a relevant top player. I forgot who it was though.
Dude, it's recency bias. It's just recency bias.
It's crazy.
Someone asked, is Ultimate Kazuya scarier than Smash 4 Ryu? In my personal opinion, no. I feel like Smash 4 Ryu is scarier, but I also main Smash 4 Fox, so.
Rage. That's all I have to say.
Smash 4 Ryu is so stupid. Don't get me started.
Rage.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
His up tilt is just insane.
It was messed up. Oh, his Nair is insane. It's funny because Smash 4 Ryu was almost really bad, but then they changed the shield mechanic.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. That's right. They did change the shield mechanic in Smash 4.
Yeah.
Did they add like extra shield stun or something like that? Or
Yeah, they did. Cause
okay.
like before the shield was like brawl, so you could just shield stuff and then just do whatever. Like shield drop, shield do whatever.
Oh, Larry, I was gonna ask you something. So you're gonna play Sheik, you said. Are you serious about that? I'm sure everybody here wants to know.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna drop Wolf. I always say dropping Wolf for X character. And like part of the tweet I made was a troll, but I actually do want to use Sheik more. Ever since the last time I went to Void's place, I've been really intrigued of playing Sheik, but I wanted to not put much time to the character until 2022. So I'm gonna try to invest more into Sheik. I talked to Ramen about this earlier. They said, I don't believe you.
I feel look, if it happens, I'm hyped for it, you know? Like, I'm excited to see Larry Sheik, but I don't believe anything he says right now. Like, I don't think he's gonna play Sheik in tournament. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Larry. I'd love for you to prove me wrong. But oh, by the way, if you want to learn Sheik, you can go to my Twitter. I have a nice little link in my bio, and I'll give you a discount because you're a friend. But I'm sure we can get your Sheik to like top level within like a few weeks.
Are you talking about Metafy? Why don't you just say Why don't you just promote your Metafy?
Right?
Yeah, just say Metafy Metafy.gg or something.
Yeah, it's Metafy.
We've known each other for like 12 years, so I'll give you like the friend discount. I'll do that for you, Larry.
I hate you.
Nah, but for real though, if you do end up playing Sheik, if you're serious about it, that'd be super hype. Wouldn't you guys agree? Like LarryLurr, that's like a new era. Like LarryLurr Sheik, that's crazy.
I never thought I'd hear those words.
Are you Sheik?
I never thought I'd live in that timeline.
Are you Sheik in Smash 4?
What?
Yeah.
When? What? Hold on. It's
I remember
like some famous Sims just a weekly or something. I don't remember seeing a Larry Sheik ever.
I remember your DK in Smash 4. Unfortunately, I remember your DK.
You don't remember my set versus Captain Awesome?
Oh, I do now. Yeah, customs.
Oh God! Oh no!
I'm also.
Please.
I also wish I didn't remember that. Actually, now that I think about it.
Okay.
I used Sheik in Smash 4 until she got nerfed.
Oh yeah, her needles.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was
And also down throw.
It's
Yeah.
a down throw 50-50. Dude, I was so good at 50-50s.
I was so broken.
I'm such a good guesser.
I'm so good at 50-50s, he says.
I'm such a good guesser. It's
I
true.
need you to flip a coin right now, Larry.
It's true.
Give me a side.
You know what, Scatt? You flip a coin, and then I'll say tails.
I wish I could show it on camera. Wait. You can hear the coin. Take a guess.
Yeah, it's a tails.
Wrong. It's heads.
Yeah, I'm already proven wrong. We did like a minute.
Hey, you know that was one try. I'm
It's
so
one. Yeah, you're right. It's one time.
All right.
One down throw.
guess they're a reactor.
True, it's all about the conditioning actually for 50-50s.
Meta Knight 91. Don't tell them.
Now, my favorite part is when commentators are just like, "Oh, that was a really good read." When I just like guessed like where to go, like I'll down tilt with Crom, and I'm like, "All right, do they tech in? Do they tech away?" And I'll literally just guess, and then like I'll guess right, and you're like, "Wow, that was a really good read." But it's usually just guesses, like 50-50s, stuff like that, or tech chases. Sometimes it can be a read when a lot of conditioning is involved or like habits are involved, but for the most part, it's just a guess.
Wait, there was a question that Charles asked. Charles wants to know where we put Sheik.
Sheik?
Yeah, in Ultimate.
I've been playing Sheik a lot recently. In like the last year and a half, probably like my top 2 most played characters alongside Crom. I've always been optimistic about Sheik, like always, like after the patch at least. Like pre-patch Sheik, I wasn't that optimistic, but after like she got buffed, I've been optimistic about her. I just don't know if she's the best character in the game. I don't know, that might be a little bit too much. Right now, I would put her in top 20 with potential to be top 10. Easy potential to be top 10. So definitely a top tier character, like if anything. It's just I don't think she's the best character in the game, but I think she has potential to be like top 10, maybe top 5, like maybe. But yeah, I know I'm playing it safe, but those are just my honest thoughts.
I'm gonna refrain because, like I said before, like I don't really have much experience just like playing against or watching Sheik, to be honest. From the little that I have seen, I'm convinced that like she's a top tier, but like I can't say more than that because I just don't know.
It's just funny to me because like Void and I have been trying to convince people that Sheik's underrated for like so long. Like I remember like putting out a matchup chart like 2 years ago where I had Sheik beating Snake, and at the time that was like really weird because Snake was a really good character. She had no results, and people were like, "Well, Snake can just up tilt Sheik at like 80 and kill her, so like you're crazy for thinking Sheik is good in this matchup," and like got criticized for that. And then like Zachary drops like a tier list where he puts Sheik first. And now everybody seems to think Sheik is like top tier. I was like, damn, like we've been trying to tell you guys she's really good for like so long, and you guys made fun of us, and all it took was like Zachary putting her in like best character in this tier list. It's like, damn, Void and I tried so hard for so long.
I've been knowing that Sheik was stupid ever since I played Void's post-patch Sheik.
I really want to play a Sheik post-patch.
I think
I really want to.
I personally think Sheik is top 10, but it's like I don't think that even doesn't like top 10, top whatever doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
I agree. That's why it's so hard.
Yeah, my opinion of Sheik has been very high for like a long time. I've done like a good amount of videos talking about her as well. So.
I remember I've seen those videos. Yeah, you're already on the Sheik is amazing like train before the Zachary tier list placement, so I remember that.
Yeah.
You're a real one, Larry. You believed in us.
I didn't believe in you. I believed in that goddamn character.
He believed in the nades at the ledge, the bouncing fishes out of the needles, the needle cancels, the drag down up airs.
It was like
the kill confirms.
Well, what it was? I played Void and he did like needle forward smash, did like needle up smash. I'm like, does that just work? He's like, yeah. He like starts laughing, you know, the Void laugh like that. Did that?
Yep. Yeah, well, they buffed her needles like onlining like one of the.
It's minus
patch ago or a few patches ago.
It's -7 on shield. The aerial needles. If you do it.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Pretty good.
And then Tipper down tilt has such a good confirm window.
So is it just true comboed into up air?
For like a wide range, yeah.
It's funny because I still think Sheik is a better character in Smash 4, but like she definitely got buffed in a lot of ways in this game. Like in Smash 4, her down tilt wasn't like a true kill setup. It was more of a 50-50 at kill percentages. But in this game, it's just a true combo, so it's just a straight up buff. And then her smash moves got buffed for the most part. Her bounce fish got nerfed, in my opinion. And a bunch of other stuff got nerfed. But it's just funny, like, even though she's a better character in Smash 4, a lot of her individual moves are actually better now. Yeah, so she definitely has room to grow because of that. Maybe top 10 in the future, but for now, I would put her like top 15, top 20 area.
She's just really good.
She's just really good, yeah.
She's just really good. All right.
She's also like really good against. Sorry, like she's also really good against like meta characters. Once we start talking about she, I can go on forever.
Yeah, I mean,
even though I have to pee, like I want to go. I also want to talk about Sheik. So
yeah, I was gonna stop it because I'm like, you gotta pee, but go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say she's also really good against like meta characters. Like she's good against Rob. She's good against Roy. I think she's decent against Zerusud, Joker, Min Min, Sephiroth. She's just generally a good pick against a lot of like meta characters. So that's also why I think she was underestimated for a while. Like top 10, top 15. All right, there you go. I've said I could go on for hours, but I'll leave it on that.
All right. Okay. On that note, let's end it here. It was fun. Let's definitely do this again. I'll like try to set this up sooner because it was like a year.
I think it's been a year.
It's been a year. It's like a year. But yeah, we'll do this sooner than a year. Yeah, thanks for hopping on and talking.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun.